Respect. Everyone wants it, but not everyone knows how to get it. Think about this. In your life, how many times have you felt ignored, disrespected, or treated as if you were invisible? Maybe at school, maybe at work, maybe even at home. You wanted people to listen to you, to value your words, to see your presence as important. But instead, you felt small. You felt overlooked. And in that moment, you wished you had the secret to earning real respect. Here's the truth. Respect is not something people hand to you for free. Respect is not given because of age, money, or even power. Respect must be earned. And the way you earn it has nothing to do with shouting, demanding, or trying to scare people. Real respect comes from your actions, your mindset, and the way you carry yourself in the world. In this lesson, you will discover how to truly get respect. We will go deep into the habits, the attitude, and the character that make people admire you without you even asking. If you stay with me until the end, you will understand why some people walk into a room and instantly command attention, while others spend their whole lives begging for recognition, but never receive it. Let's begin. Respect is a mirror of you. Respect always begins with the way you treat yourself. People see you as a reflection of how you see yourself. If you walk around with your head down, avoiding eye contact, always apologizing for things you didn't even do wrong, you send a silent message to the world. I am not worthy. And people, whether they realize it or not, believe that message. They start treating you according to the picture you create of yourself. Think about someone you know who has low confidence. They may be kind, they may be intelligent, but if they do not believe in themselves, others rarely take them seriously. That is because respect is not only about what you do outwardly, but also about the energy you give off. Confidence is not about arrogance, but about self-acceptance. When you stand tall, look people in the eye, and speak with calmness, you show that you believe in your own worth. And when you believe it, others start to believe it too. Self-respect is not only about posture or words. It is also about how you live your life. Do you keep your promises to yourself? Do you take care of your body, your mind, and your emotions? Do you allow people to misuse your kindness again and again? Or do you stand firm in your values? Every decision you make about yourself tells others how much you value your own life. When you respect yourself, you automatically set a standard. People begin to see that they cannot treat you carelessly. They notice that your time is valuable, that your words are meaningful, and that your presence carries weight. Respect is not about trying to convince others. It is about building a mirror inside yourself. And when that mirror reflects strength, calmness, and dignity, the world has no choice but to reflect it back to you. Respect is not popularity. Many people chase respect the wrong way. They think that being liked is the same as being respected. But being liked and being respected are completely different things. A comedian can make thousands laugh, but that doesn't automatically mean people admire him as a person. A celebrity may have millions of followers, but that doesn't mean those followers respect their character. Respect is far more powerful than popularity, because popularity can vanish overnight, but respect lasts much longer. If you spend your life trying to make everyone like you, you will end up sacrificing your own identity. You will say yes when you mean no. You will agree with things you don't believe in just to keep others happy. And while some people may like you for being agreeable, deep down they won't respect you. Why? Because people don't admire those who bend too easily. They admire those who stand strong, even if it means being unpopular sometimes. Respect comes from character. It comes from consistency. People respect you when they see you living by principles, not by popularity polls. When you say no to something that goes against your values, you show strength. When you refuse to follow the crowd just to fit in, you show courage. And courage always earns more respect than blind agreement. In fact, respect often requires being unpopular at times. History remembers those who stood their ground, even when others laughed at them or criticized them. Great inventors, leaders, and thinkers were often rejected before they were admired. They did not chase popularity. They chased truth, discipline, and integrity. And in the end, they gained respect far deeper than the temporary applause of the crowd. So ask yourself, do you want people to simply like you for a moment? Or do you want them to truly respect you for a lifetime? Choose character over popularity, and you will never have to beg for respect. Respect comes from boundaries. One of the strongest ways to earn respect is by creating and protecting boundaries. People are always testing limits, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously. They want to see how much you will tolerate, how much you will accept, and whether you truly value yourself. If you allow others to cross your boundaries again and again without consequence, you silently tell them, "My comfort, my needs, and my dignity do not matter." And once they see that, they lose respect for you. Imagine a conversation where someone keeps interrupting you. If you stay quiet, smile nervously, or let them dominate the discussion, you send the message that your voice doesn't matter. Over time, this person will continue interrupting you, not because they are more important, but because you allowed it. But now imagine calmly saying, "I'd like to finish my thought, please." Suddenly, the dynamic changes. You did not shout, you did not get angry, but you firmly establish that your words have value. That one simple act builds respect. Boundaries are not about being rude or distant. They are about self-respect. They teach others how to treat you. Think about a fence around a house. The fence doesn't mean you hate your neighbors. It simply shows where your property begins, and it signals to others that they must respect that space. In the same way, your personal boundaries, your time, your energy, your values need clear fences. If someone repeatedly disrespects your boundaries and you do nothing, the problem is not only them, it is also your silence. When you set boundaries with calmness and consistency, people begin to recognize your strength. They learn that you are not someone to be pushed around. Ironically, the more you protect your boundaries, the more people will admire you, even if they don't always like it at first. Why? Because deep inside, everyone respects strength, and boundaries are a clear signal of inner strength. Boundaries create respect. They show that you know your worth, and when you know your worth, others have no choice but to recognize it. Respect comes from consistency. Anyone can impress people for a short time. Anyone can have one good day, say one smart thing, or act strong in one moment. But respect is not built in a single day. It is built over many days, over months, and over years. True respect is about consistency. If you say you will do something, do it. If you give your word, keep it. If you promise to show up, show up. These actions may sound simple, but they are rare. Many people talk big but deliver small. Many people make promises they never keep. And slowly, people stop respecting them because words without action are empty. Think about the people you admire most: leaders, teachers, mentors, or family members. Do you respect them because of one single speech or one single act? Number. You respect them because they lived in a way that was consistent. They didn't act one way at home and another way outside. They didn't change their behavior just because someone was watching. They were steady. They were dependable. They lived what they spoke. And over time, that consistency built trust, and trust built respect. Respect grows naturally when people see that you are reliable. When you say, "I will be there at 7," and you arrive on time again and again, people learn that they can depend on you. When you commit to a goal and keep working on it day after day, people begin to admire your discipline. Consistency shows that your character is not temporary, it is permanent. It is easy to act strong once. It is harder to stay strong every day. But if you can live with consistency, respect will follow you wherever you go. Respect is earned through value. Another powerful truth about respect is this: people respect those who bring value to the world. If you are someone who only takes from others, people may tolerate you for a while, but they will eventually grow tired of you. But if you give, if you contribute, if you help others grow and improve, you become valuable. And people always respect value. Think about the most respected figures in history: scientists, leaders, writers, inventors. What do they all have in common? They gave something to humanity. They shared ideas. They solved problems. They created art, technology, or systems that improved life for others. Their respect did not come from their looks, their money, or their popularity. It came from the value they gave. The beautiful truth is this: you don't need to be famous to bring value. You can bring value in small ways every single day. At work, instead of only complaining about problems, you can focus on finding solutions. With friends, you can be the person who listens, who gives honest advice, and who shows up when needed. With family, you can be reliable, the one who keeps promises and provides support. Even small acts of value build a reputation that people respect. Value can be knowledge, kindness, hard work, or even just being someone people can trust. When you bring value to others, you prove that your presence makes their lives better. And once people recognize that, their respect for you grows naturally. Respect requires courage. Many people lose respect not because they lack talent, but because they lack courage. They are too afraid to speak up, too afraid to face conflict, too afraid to live honestly. But respect is always connected to courage. Without courage, people may like you, but they will not deeply respect you. Courage means doing the right thing even when it is difficult. It means facing fear instead of running from it. It means standing for truth even when people disagree. And when you show courage, people cannot help but admire you, even those who may not like your decision. Think about a firefighter who runs into danger to save lives. That courage makes us respect them deeply. Think about someone who tells the truth even when lying would be easier. That honesty makes people admire them. Or imagine a student who defends a classmate from bullies, even if it puts them at risk. That simple act of bravery wins more respect than hours of empty words. Most people hide from challenges. Most people choose comfort over courage. That is why courage is rare, and that is why courage earns respect. When you step forward while others step back, You rise above the crowd. Respect does not always come to the strongest, the smartest, or the loudest. It comes to the ones who dare, to the ones who take risks, speak truth, and face fear. Courage is the fire that lights the path to respect. Respect cannot be forced. One of the biggest mistakes people make when they want respect is that they try to force it. They raise their voices, they demand attention, and sometimes even use threats. But here's the truth. Forced respect is not real respect. It is only fear. And fear never lasts. The moment your power is gone, the false respect disappears with it. Think about history. There were leaders who ruled with fear. People bowed to them, but not because they admired them. They bowed because they were afraid of punishment. The moment those leaders lost power, no one cared for them anymore. Their respect died instantly because it was never true respect. It was only control through fear. Real respect works in the opposite way. It is not something you can shout for or demand. It is something you earn naturally over time through your actions, your character, and your consistency. When someone truly respects you, you don't have to ask for it. They will show it on their own. True respect is quiet. It doesn't come with noise or threats. It shows itself in small but powerful ways. People listen to you without you needing to raise your voice. They trust your guidance even when you don't push them. They value your presence even when you are silent. The truth is, the moment you feel the need to say, "Respect me," you have already lost it. Respect is not in demands, but in dignity. You don't chase it, you attract it. And you attract it by the way you live, the way you treat others, and the way you carry yourself. So remember this. Don't force respect. Instead, focus on becoming the kind of person who naturally earns it. When people admire you for your strength, honesty, and calmness, that is the respect worth having. Respect and the power of silence. Sometimes, the most powerful person in the room is not the one who talks the loudest, but the one who knows when to stay silent. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strength. It shows control, maturity, and confidence. When you remain calm and quiet in moments of tension, people notice. Imagine a group where everyone is arguing, shouting, and trying to dominate with noise. Then there is one person who doesn't rush, who stays calm, who speaks only when the right moment comes. Who do you think people will remember? Not the loud voices, but the calm one who spoke few meaningful words. Silence has power because it creates contrast. When you are quiet and then finally speak, people pay more attention. Your words carry weight, not because they are many, but because they are rare and thoughtful. People respect those who don't waste words. On the other hand, those who constantly talk, interrupt, and try to control every conversation often lose respect. Why? Because they seem insecure. They seem like they are trying too hard to prove themselves. Respect doesn't come from endless words. Respect comes from words that matter. Here's something you can try. In your daily life, do not rush to reply in every conversation. When someone speaks to you, pause. Think. Then answer slowly and calmly. You will notice that people begin to take your words more seriously. They will wait for what you say because they know it is not careless. It is considered. Great leaders, wise teachers, and respected individuals all have this quality. They do not waste words. They speak less, but their words carry more meaning. Silence creates mystery, and mystery creates respect. So practice the art of silence. Don't be afraid of pauses. Don't be afraid to listen more than you speak. When you master silence, you master respect. Respect and self-discipline. If there is one quality that always earns respect, it is discipline. People admire talent, but they respect discipline more. Why? Because talent can be a gift, but discipline is a choice. Discipline shows strength of character, and that is what people value most. Imagine two co-workers. One arrives late every day, makes excuses, misses deadlines, and always complains. The other shows up on time, focuses on the work, completes tasks without excuses, and stays consistent. Which one will earn more respect? It is not about who is smarter. It is about who is more disciplined. The second coworker will always be trusted more. Discipline is powerful because it shows that you respect yourself first. You respect your time, your health, your goals, and your future. When people see that you respect yourself, they automatically begin to respect you too. Respect always starts from within. Think about athletes, soldiers, or anyone who achieves greatness. Their lives are built on discipline. They wake up early, they train, they focus, they sacrifice comfort for growth. That is why people admire them. Not just for their results, but for the discipline it took to achieve those results. Now compare this to someone who gives in to every temptation, who eats carelessly, wastes time, avoids responsibility. Do people admire that? Number. Because lack of discipline shows weakness. Self-discipline is like invisible armor. It protects your dignity and earns you silent respect from others. You don't need to talk about it. You don't need to announce it. People will notice it in the way you live, in the way you keep promises, and in the way you control yourself. If you want respect, start with small acts of discipline. Wake up on time. Keep your word. Finish what you start. Avoid excuses. Over time, people will begin to trust and admire you, not for what you say, but for what you consistently do. Discipline is rare, and that is why it shines. If you want to be respected, discipline yourself first. Respect through knowledge. Knowledge is one of the most powerful paths to respect. When you truly know what you are talking about, people naturally pay attention. They lean in. They listen. They begin to trust your words because they sense that you speak with understanding, not with empty noise. But knowledge is not only about facts in books. Knowledge is about growth. It is about constantly learning, observing, and applying lessons to your life. When people see that you are always improving, always expanding your mind, they respect you. They see you as someone valuable, someone who carries wisdom. However, here is the most important truth. Knowledge should never be used to show off. Some people learn a little, and then they use it to make others feel small. They try to prove how smart they are by putting others down. But this does not bring respect. It brings resentment. True knowledge is always humble. The people who are truly respected are not those who shout about how much they know, but those who use their knowledge to help. Think about teachers, mentors, and wise leaders. Why are they respected? Not just because they know many things, but because they use what they know to guide others, to solve problems, and to make life better for the people around them. If you want respect, make learning your daily mission. Read books, listen to lectures, observe life carefully, ask questions, apply what you learn, and grow from your mistakes. Over time, people will notice. They will admire the way you always improve yourself, and they will come to you for guidance. Knowledge is like light. The more you learn, the more you shine. And when you shine, people will not only see you, they will respect you. Respect and integrity. Integrity is one of the strongest foundations of respect. It means being honest, even when no one is watching. It means holding on to your values, even when it is difficult. It means doing the right thing, even when the wrong thing seems easier. People deeply respect those who live with integrity because integrity is rare. Without integrity, everything else eventually falls apart. If you cheat, lie, or betray trust, you might gain a small advantage for a short time. Maybe you get ahead at work. Maybe you fool someone for a while. But in the long run, you will lose the very thing that matters most: respect. And once respect is gone, it is extremely hard to earn it back. Think about leaders or celebrities who were caught in lies or scandals. Some of them had money, fame, and power. But the moment their dishonesty was revealed, their respect disappeared overnight. People no longer admired them, because without integrity, power and talent mean nothing. Now compare that to someone you know who always does the right thing, even in silence. Maybe they don't have fame or riches. Maybe they don't talk much, but they are reliable. They keep their promises. They are fair. Over time, that quiet integrity shines brighter than the loudest success. That is the person people trust. That is the person people respect. Integrity is not something you talk about. It is something you live. Every choice you make builds or destroys it. Do you keep your word? Do you stay true to your values? Do you treat people honestly even when it costs you something? If you want lasting respect, protect your integrity at all costs. Money can be lost, power can fade, but integrity, once strong, makes your respect unshakable. Respect through service. One of the most surprising truths about respect is this: people respect those who serve others. Service is not weakness, it is strength. Helping others does not make you lower, it makes you greater. When you give your time, your energy, your care to improve the lives of others, people see your heart. And that heart earns admiration. Think about the greatest leaders in history. Many of them did not start with power. They began with service. They served their families, their communities, their causes. Because they served with humility and consistency, people began to trust them. And over time, that service turned into leadership and respect. Service does not mean you must change the whole world. Respect is built in small acts. When you listen to a friend who is hurting, that is service. When you guide someone younger than you, that is service. When you help a coworker, share your knowledge, or simply show kindness to a stranger, that is service. Each act is small, but together they build a character that people deeply admire. Many people think respect comes only from showing strength, power, or dominance. But the truth is, service requires even more strength. It takes discipline to give, patience to help, and humility to put others before yourself. That is why service earns respect. It shows true strength of character. If you want respect, look for ways to serve. Not because you want something in return, but because it is the right thing to do. Respect built on service is stronger than respect built on fear or control. Because when people respect you for your service, they respect not just what you do, but who you are. In the end, respect through service lasts the longest. Because long after people forget your words, they will remember how you made them feel. And if you made them feel supported, valued, and lifted, you will always have their respect. Respect and emotional control. Many people lose respect, not because they are weak or unkind, but because they cannot control their emotions. When someone insults them, they lash out. When things go wrong, they complain loudly. They may feel jealousy, frustration, or fear, and instead of managing these emotions, they let the emotions control their actions. Over time, people notice this lack of control, and their respect fades. On the other hand, respected people have learned the art of emotional control. They may feel anger, sadness, or frustration deeply, but they do not allow these feelings to dictate their behavior. They stay calm, even in tense situations. This calmness is powerful. It tells others that you are in control of yourself, and people naturally trust those who control themselves. Imagine being insulted or provoked in a meeting. Many would respond with sharp words, anger, or aggression. But if you respond calmly, with poise, the effect is entirely different. People listen more carefully. They notice your strength. Your response demonstrates that you are guided by reason, not by impulsive feelings. That kind of composure earns deep respect. Emotional control also shows resilience. Life is full of challenges. A person who breaks under pressure may gain sympathy, but rarely true respect. But when someone continues forward, steady, despite difficulties, they are admired. Their courage in the face of adversity becomes a model for others. Think of emotional control as an invisible shield. It protects your dignity, your credibility, and your relationships. People may disagree with you or challenge you, but they will respect the way you handle yourself. And the more you practice this control, the more natural it becomes. Respect begins from within, and emotional control is one of the strongest ways to maintain it. Respect is a daily practice. Many people think respect is something you achieve once. You say or do something impressive, and suddenly people respect you. But real, lasting respect is not like that. It is built daily, one choice at a time, brick by brick. Every action you take either adds to your respect or slowly erodes it. Think of respect as a building. Each time you keep a promise, follow through on a commitment, or act with honesty, you lay a solid brick. Each time you act with discipline, patience, or fairness, another brick is added. Over time, these small actions create a structure of respect that is strong and lasting. But the opposite is also true. If you break promises, if you gossip, if you act impulsively or without integrity, you begin to tear down that building. People may forgive small mistakes, but repeated actions that show carelessness or disrespect weaken the foundation. That is why respect is a daily practice. You must pay attention to your words, your actions, and your habits. Ask yourself each day, did I treat others with fairness? Did I keep my word? Did I act in line with my values? These small, consistent efforts are what create true respect. Respect is also a lifestyle. It is not something you can switch on and off. It is not something for show. The people who earn the most respect do not think about impressing others. They focus on being consistent, reliable, and honorable every day. And because they practice it daily, respect becomes automatic. Remember, nothing builds respect overnight. It is a long-term investment. Every choice, every reaction, every moment is an opportunity to strengthen your respect. When you commit to this practice, you do not need to demand respect. It comes naturally. People notice, people admire, and most importantly, you can look at yourself in the mirror and feel proud. Final words. The journey to respect. My dear friend, if you truly want respect, remember this. You do not need to beg for it, and you do not need to demand it. Respect is not something that can be forced or bought. True respect comes from within. It begins with the way you see yourself, the way you carry yourself, and the choices you make every single day. Respect starts with self-respect. When you value yourself, people around you will naturally follow your example. Respect grows from many qualities: discipline, integrity, courage, knowledge, boundaries, service, and emotional control. Each of these qualities builds a foundation that cannot be shaken. Discipline shows that you value your own time and goals. Integrity proves that your word is reliable. Courage demonstrates that you stand for truth even when it is difficult. Service and knowledge show that you bring value to others. Boundaries signal that you know your worth, and emotional control ensures that you stay steady no matter what life throws at you. Together, these qualities create a person who naturally earns respect. Here at English Achieve, we believe that respect is not something to chase. It is something to grow into. By practicing these principles consistently, you will notice a change, not only in the way people treat you, but also in the way you see yourself. People will listen to your words, trust your actions, and admire your character. And most importantly, when you look in the mirror, you will feel proud because you have become someone worthy of respect. Remember this: respect is not given, it is earned. Your journey to respect is a daily practice, a lifelong commitment. Start today. Build yourself, strengthen your character, grow your wisdom, and watch as respect follows naturally, just as it should.